Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. Joining us now is North Central Sports Information Director, Clark Teuscher. Clark, as always, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start with the men's basketball team. They made it to the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history, but fall in heartbreaking fashion, 58-55.
Well, that's tournament basketball for you. Most of the losses that teams incur are close ones at this level, and that was certainly no exception. They had their chances, opportunities to put this one away. They were up by 9 points on a couple of occasions in the second half. Typically had been pretty successful in situations like that, allowed a late run, and then just came up a shot or two short.
Well, the Cardinal Report headed to Wooster, Ohio to see the men's basketball team make their first trip to the Sweet 16. In case you couldn't make the trip, we've got you covered.
The North Cenrtal College Cardinals getting ready for Sweet 16 action against Clayton Black and the Wittenberg University Tigers. After falling behind 7 in the early going, Gillespie leads the Cardinals back with 2 threes from way downtown, and the Cardinals now have the edge 30-25. But the Tigers chipped away, capped off by Michael Cooper's drive at the buzzer, and it's a 2-point Cardinal lead at the half. North Central comes out firing in the second. Gillespie picks up right where he left off in the first. Then Derek Raridan with a little shimmy in the baseline drive. And Landon Gamble shows that 2 Tiger defenders aren't enough as he lays in 2 of his 8 points. And the drive is capped off by Charlie Rosenberg doing his best freight train impression. And the Cardinals lead by 8 midway through the second. But basketball runs work both ways. Black takes advantage of a falling Cardinal in the paint. Then McKee gets the Tiger fans back into it with his long ball. And Leahy would cap off an 11-2 run with his drive to put Wittenberg back in the driver's seat, now leading by 1. Tigers keep the pressure on as Zach Leahy feeds Alex Brandt with the no-look pass in the paint, and the Cardinals are down by 3 with under 16 seconds to play. North Central with a last chance to send the game into overtime. Gillespie can't get the bank shot to fall, and the Cardinals' dance ends in the Sweet 16 round as they fall to Wittenberg 58-55.
So, Clark, despite the loss, still probably one of the best basketball seasons in North Central history.
Certainly. They tied the school record for wins. Tournament, first tournament appearance in 6 years. 4 all-conference players, including one that came off the bench, which doesn't happen all that often. So, certainly, the loss of Kevin Gillespie to graduation certainly does hurt, but they've got a lot of guys who are itching to step in that position and try to become a leader and help this team get even further the next season.
Yeah, you mentioned Kevin Gillespie, one of the few seniors that are leaving, but the majority of this team is back. How has this team raised the bar for seasons to come?
I think there's just a higher level of expectation now. Last year, they were able to tie for the conference title, and everybody seemed pretty satisfied with that. This year they go to the Sweet 16, and everybody's pretty happy with how things have gone. And I think next year this won't be good enough. I think they won't consider the season a success if they don't at least advance at least in one more round in the tournament. And I think they're very motivated at this point. At least we'll see how well that carries over into the off season and how hard they're willing to work, because it's going to take a lot more effort to get to that point where you can compete with the best teams in the country.
Well, they've proved they're one of the best teams in the country this season. And the best of the best in women's track and field was also at Cardinal College this weekend, and a couple of Lady Cardinals made the trip.
Elizabeth Composto in her first national championship was able to get an All-American certificate in the pole vault, and Krista Coda's in the mile, and you have a race where there's all kinds of collisions and people falling down, and those indoor races can be like that. You have tight turns and close quarters and things like that tend to happen, but you take it for the experience that it is and you learn from it. Krista was just one place away from being an All-American in that one, but it's a race that she's kind of new to running, so perhaps outdoors there's a little more space, a little more room to work, and she'll be able to move up in the pack a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure she wasn't expecting the mile race to be a contact sport.
Certainly no, you wouldn't think that, but we see it from time to time in these indoor races, maybe not in races of this length. But there is, you have to keep your wits about you, because those things do happen from time to time.
And you mentioned Elizabeth Composto in her first trip as a freshman. The youth of this team has really stepped up this year, and she's just one of many who hopefully will make the trip in the years to come.
Yeah, you have those individuals who come in and have the ability to make an impact right away on the national level, and there's some that take a year or two of maturing and practice before they can do that. So I think they're kind of in that middle ground there, where they've got some people who are able to compete at that level, but they've also got some that need some work. So that youth is going to be it's going to be providing some growing pains maybe this season, but as they move forward, I think it'll be that core of athletes is really going to help them become a lot more prominent on the national scene.
It'll be fun to watch them move forward. And another team that headed to nationals, 2 individuals from the wrestling team, and Andrew Zobek and Nathan Fitzenreiter, but not really the results they were hoping for.
Well, both of them were able to be All-Americans, which is a good thing. Andrew had not been one before and finished 5th, and was able to finish his career with a victory, in the consolation bracket, which was always nice to see. Nathan advanced to the championship round and didn't get the result he wanted. He kind of got beat off the whistle there at the beginning of the first period and was behind the whole way, and was up against a wrestler who was very good defensively from Wartburg College. And who was also wrestling to help his team win a national title, which they did. So, Nathan didn't get the result that he wanted, but to advance to the national championship match for the first time, certainly a strong showing and an improved showing over what he'd done the past couple of years. And
he had beaten him earlier in the year with a 10-2 decision. But Nathan, being just a junior, he'll have another shot at this next year. Do you think he may move weight classes possibly?
That's not really something I know much about. It's going to be up to him and his coaches and to see what they want to do and what's going to be best for the team. And Nathan's a team guy. Initially he made the move to 125, to help the team, and things didn't really work out that way in terms of some other injuries that happened. But that's a conversation that I'm sure that they've been having, and they'll have to make a decision before the next season starts.
Well, Clark, thanks so much for keeping us up to date on all the winter sports this year.
Thank you, Mark.
The Cardinal Report wants to congratulate all the winter sports teams at North Cenrtal College on great seasons. We will return Thursday, March 29th to kick off the spring season in Cardinal athletics. See you here next time on the Cardinal Report.